Hi everyone, Joanna here to offer another video for your home practice. This yoga class is going to be focused on opening the hips, which will result in more space in our lower backs and the legs, maybe the back, an area also where we're feeling a lot of tension. Open hips tends to contribute positively to that whole area and the entire body. So we'll concentrate on hips, and then we're also going to focus on opening the heart and back bending, and not super dramatic back bends, but this opening into a back bend that we can find in so many of our poses if we pay attention. So let's begin. We'll start in ragdoll forward fold. So come to your mat. Open the feet wide, hips with distance, press down through the heels, engage the core as you hinge at the hips. So to protect the lower back from the very start, we ignite the core. And then once we arrive, we can completely let the head go, shake it side to side, release the neck, full breath in, full breath out. And we'll take about 5 breaths here in Ragdoll Uttanasana. So the feet press the earth away. You might move around a little bit in the legs, straightening them a bit more and then bending the knees and finding that spot that allows you to truly, with your foundation, that spot with the legs that allows you to let the back go. So the middle back, the shoulders, the head dropping forward. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let the face pick up some of that softening as well. So notice the eyes are tense, the jaw, and just let it be loose. Let the face go. Know for the next 30 to 40 minutes, there's nowhere to be but right here on your mat, despite everything that's going on around us. You can find some calm. And maybe it'll be a practice, but we'll find it. Take another big breath in. And then on an exhale, let the hands drop down to the earth, tabletop all fours. So your hands come down, the hips are over the knees. And the first inhale will drop the belly, you'll open the heart. And then the first exhale, cat, rounding, shoulders towards the ceiling. And then you'll do that again. Inhale, moving to the breath. Into your cow, exhale, moving to the breath, into your cat. One more round to your rhythm, inhaling. And then as you exhale into cat, stay there, even as you take another round of breath. And you'll begin to drop your hips and your seat back towards your heels, but let the seat hover over the heels, not touching. And walk your fingertips forward even a little bit more. And then inhale, take a big breath in, send that breath around the lower back. And then exhale, finally let your seat drop down towards your heels. Hands can come to the earth, forehead as well. And so this is child's pose, a little more narrow than we normally take it. But a really good setup for the lower back. Maybe you're beginning to feel some gentle sensation in the hips, forehead on the earth. Take another breath in and let it go. Take a couple more breaths here. If you want to sweep the arms behind you and catch your heels, allow the shoulders to roll forward even more. That's available. Do gently press the forehead down and forward. And then sweep the arms back forward. If they're not there already, press down through the hands. Tabletop all fours. And we'll stay in tabletop, but then bring the forearms down to the earth so that they're parallel to each other in the number 11. And then you'll tuck the toes under. You'll lift your tail and knees to come into dolphin dog pose. So it's like downward facing dog, just a different setup through the arms. So find that inverted V shape, that ability to lift the tail up and back, to create that steep ramp through the spine. Full breath in, full breath out. And you'll begin to feel the shoulders responding. You'll press the arms down to ignite the foundation you've created to lift slightly away from the earth. And then lift your heels even more, coming up onto all 10 toes in Dolphin Dog. And then root the heels back down. Yeah, it's very subtle. Lift and then root. One more time, lift and then root. And now take the feet and shimmy them back behind you to bring the heart forward, forearm plank. So it's just like our high plank from the crown of the head through the heels. Again, the only thing different, the support of the arms. Most of us will need to drop our belly just slightly, meaning drop the hips, but draw the belly in towards the spine. Working here, feeling that shake. Take another big breath in. Leave the arms where they are, but drop your seat, your hips to the earth. Sphinx pose. Let the heart come through the gate of the arms. Let the shoulders soften if you can. Full breath in. And open the mouth. All right, stay in Sphinx. Take a breath in. And just gaze over your left shoulder. Stay here as you squeeze the thighs gently towards each other. Fill up breath. Feel it in the right side of your neck. Come back to center. We'll take it over to the right shoulder now. Breath in. Breath out. One more big breath in. Come back to center. And then forehead on the earth. Release. Bring your arms back behind you. Palms spinning down. Bring your big toes together to touch. And then lift. Lead with the heart. Not the chin, not the face. But the heart comes forward. Chest lifts. Arms hover. Feet lift off the mat as well. Big breath in. Stay. Big breath out. Shalabhasana A. Lifting the heart. Lengthening the legs as though you could reach your toes all the way towards the wall behind you. You'll take another full breath in. And then you'll release. Exhale. Forehead on the earth. Fill it up. And simply let it go. Now let's take our hands by our ribs. And if you take baby cobra at this point of your practice, you'll find that. Otherwise, come into upward facing dog. Press down through the tops of the feet, all 10 toes. And if the heels, you can feel them flopping off to the side, draw them towards each other. That's going to lift you even more from the mat. You'll open up the chest, full breath in. And then an exhale takes you up and back. Downward facing dog. Now you're full down dog, much like dolphin, creating this inverted V shape. But now the arms are extending, full support through both sides of the body, the left arm, the right arm, and the armpits hugging in towards the body. Full breath in, full breath out. In fact, try this in your down dog. Imagine rotating the arms towards each other. So turning them in. You lose all this space through the neck and the chest. So instead, imagine and actively turn the biceps away from each other. Rotate them away. Creating space between the shoulders and the ears. Full breath in. Full breath out. All right, let's bend the knees a lot. Pull your seat back. Front of your mat on an exhale. Big toes together to touch. Find length. And then forward fold. We'll sweep to standing. Come up. And then flow. Pull your seat back. Heart forward. Exhale. Hands to shins. Shoulder blades together. Hands to the mat. You'll come into high plank. You'll lower. Shift forward to low plank. Find a back bend, upward facing, or drop to the mat and find that Shalabhasana A. And then downward facing dog. Breath in. And a deep breath out. Nice work. Take your right leg to the sky. Three-legged dog. Open that right ankle. And then exhale. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Low lunge breath in. Drop your back knee down, breath out. Sweep the arms overhead. Squeeze the thighs gently towards each other, and then take your gaze up the wall in front of you until it meets the ceiling at the top. Feel that space behind the heart lifting the torso, even as you come deeply into your front hip. Take another full breath in, and then hands to the mat. Step it back, high plank, hold here. Lower to low plank, press back up to high plank, and downward facing dog. Breath in, and let it go. Okay, left leg to the sky. Roll the ankle, get a little space on that side. Then step the left foot through. Inhale, low lunge, moving to breath. Exhale, back knee down. Inhale, sweeps the arms overhead. We'll settle in. Full breath in. Full breath out. And same thing here. Walk your gaze up the wall in front of you until it meets the ceiling. That space between the shoulder blades, lifting the heart up, shining that entire space open. Take another big breath in. And then hands to the mat. Once again, step back, high plank. Hold here. Feel the earth beneath you. Shift forward, low plank. Press back up, high plank. And downward facing dog. Breath in. And sigh it away. All right, let's walk to the front of our mats. Big toes will come together to touch. Then we'll come all the way to standing, Tadasana mountain pose, standing tall on 2 feet. Breath in, breath out. Neck gets long on an exhale, shoulders drop away from the ears. And then we'll take hands to heart center. And we'll open our practice with 1 Om. On the exhale, deep breath in. We begin again. Let's sweep the arms overhead, breath in, and then dive forward, exhale. Hands to shin, spine length. Hands to the mat. Here's your chaturanga. You can take all the chaturangas in this class, find a back bend, or you can skip and take as many as you need. Downward facing dog. Breath in and breath out. And for you, it might be extra chaturangas, a little quicker pace. That's our practice. That's our yoga. Honor what you need, but just stay here paying attention. Big breath in, bend the knees. Exhale, walk or hop, feet touch. Inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Tadasana, sweep it high. And then dive it forward. Inhale, find length. Exhale, hands to the mat, step it back. Once you have high plank, then lower to low plank. Inhale, upward face your dog. And then the core takes you up and back, downward facing dog. One more time, breath in. Front of your mat, breath out. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. Tadasana. Now you might be practicing Ujjayi in and out through the nose. To lengthen the breath as you fold, exhale through the nose. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Press the earth away as you lower against it. Press it back behind you as you open up. And then press it forward, downward facing. Breath in. Breath out. Let it settle. Let it settle. Shape change through the breath. All right, and then we'll take our right leg up and back, 3-legged dog, and you'll sweep it forward to your right hand. Breath in, breath out. You'll drop your back knee down to the mat and walk your foot to the edge of your right foot to the edge of your mat for lizard lunge. Keep your hands pressing the earth away and your arms long. So there's no rush to drop the chest towards the earth because we'll miss all the good stuff in between. We'll go deeper later, so you'll have plenty of time. Instead, maybe take your right hand to your right thigh, open up your right hip. Breath in, breath out. Anything that's touching the earth, your back knee, the top of your back foot, let it gently press the earth away. You'll take 3 more breaths here. right, take another deep breath in, and then walk your foot back to center. You're gonna pop the back knee up and step forward, big toes together to touch. We'll find Utkatasana chair pose, so drop your seat. And you could take one hand to the belly, one to your lower back, and feel, in fact, if you just poked yourself in the belly, you'll feel that yourself brace for that and tuck the tail under. You'll be able to sit a little deeper. You can also press down on the tops of the thighs. But this is meant to build fire, to build heat. Full breath in, full breath out. Seat dropping back, spine lengthening. Take another full breath in. Come to standing Tadasana. Sweep the arms behind you in your standing pose. Interlace at your lower back. Drop the knuckles of the heart. Full breath in. Full breath out. And even though the heart is opening, can you still tip the pelvis under so you don't lose that connection to Uddiyana Bandha, core strength. Take another full breath in. And then exhale, release the bind. Sweep the arms overhead, breath in. Utkatasana chair pose. So watching a class at home, of course, we're naturally going to watch a video just as we watch others around us in class, but the majority of how we move, where we know to go, is through listening. The instruction, listening to your breath. So stay with the cues, drop your seat a little lower, full breath in. This time, swan dive, forward fold, exhale. Separate your feet wide, bring your hands behind you, interlace, reach them for the ceiling. Let the head drop. Full inhale, full exhale. Take one more big breath in, and then hands to the mat. Step it back and flow high to low, or meet us in downward facing dog. Big breath in, big breath out. Downward facing, full breath in, and a full breath out. All right, we'll take our left leg high, three-legged dog, same thing. Bend and open, and then sweep the left foot through for your low lunge. Inhale, open the heart, and then exhale, drop the back knee down. Lizard lunge on this side, so your left foot walks out to the edge of your mat, and you roll onto the outer arch of the left foot. Some of us may feel even more with keeping the foot stamping down, big toe connected, but find that spot where you feel the sensation wrapping around the left hip. Keep the arms lengthening, full inhale, full exhale. We have blocks and props in our practice. We also have ways of creating more space for ourselves, coming up onto fingertips in a pose, taking your left hand to your left hip and encouraging it to open and gazing back. Full breath in, full breath out. All right, take one more big breath in. And then walk your foot back to center. You'll pop your back knee up and you'll step forward, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to standing. And then exhale, Utkatasana chair pose. Sink a little deeper if you can. Pull the belly in towards the back. Full inhale. And then exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, find length. And then exhale, step it back, high to low. Take it forward, leading with the heart, back bending. And then downward facing dog. Couple breaths here to reset. And to let it go. Noticing the breath. Whether we're moving, transitioning to poses, or we're staying somewhat still in a pose, it's completely leading the way in the experience. All right, let's take our right leg high, step it to your right thumb, and we're gonna dial the back foot down for warrior one, so sweep the arms overhead. Warrior one, the arms coming as close to the midline of your body, close to your body as possible, and the armpits wrap in, the arms can lengthen, and the more we get in the habit of doing this, we're aiding in that idea of opening the heart. Then maybe the hands can pancake together, the elbows bend, the hands come back to hold your head like this little basket, holding it but also lifting so the sternum shines forward. And then before the belly gets too far away from us, we can tilt the pelvis under and ignite our foundation. Full breath in. Full breath out, extend the arms high, and then pivot on your back foot so you're in a crescent lunge. Take a few moments to set this up. That fire burning in the legs. You'll keep the left arm reaching high, right hand to your right hip. This might be enough, or you'll take that right arm and wrap it around your waist. Or the right hand finds the back of the left thigh and you're in this deep lunge as you reach the heart high. You might even bend that left elbow, let it drop, your left hand behind your head, full breath in, full breath out. All right, take another big breath in, and then straighten your legs, drop your back foot down so you're in warrior two. Shimmy your feet so that the front heel lines up with the inner arch of your back foot, and lengthen the arms long. There's a deep bend through that right knee, front thigh working, back leg strong. Big breath in, big breath out. All right, take another big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Draw the right heel towards the left on your mat. Flip your front palm, come up and back, reverse. And then hands to your mat. You'll drop your back knee, and you're going to walk your right foot out to the edge of your mat again, finding that lizard lunge. So the hips glide forward in lizard as you felt the first time. And this time you might go deeper, forearms down to the earth, but keep as much as forward, the heart magnetic towards the front of the room, right hip opening. And for some of us, we'll bend the back knee, and we'll sweep the right arm over and back. Maybe it doesn't even catch the foot. If it does, great. But you're just getting that opening through the chest and a bit of a twist. And then you'll hug the thighs gently towards each other, but you'll still be able to keep the right hip opening to lift yourself, creating more space to gaze back over your bind that you have with your back foot. Take another full breath in, and then release. Hands come down to the earth. You'll walk your back foot to center so that you can step it back, high plank. Stay here, high plank, pressing the earth away. And then you'll shift your heels to the left for Vashisthasana side plank. 5 breaths here. Like you're standing on 2 feet in Tadasana, you're pressing through the heels to lengthen the legs so they're not as heavy. The left hand presses the earth away to lift the chest, and everything meeting in the middle through the core. Full breath in, hands to the mat, flow it through, or meet us in downward facing dog. Big breath in. And downward facing. Fill it up. And let it go. Really nice work coming back to this moment, taking everything that's working for you with you into this next side. So you'll sweep the left leg high, and you'll step it to your left thumb. Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1, sweeps the arms overhead, and we'll find in a moment that back bend, but first we'll find our feet and foundation. It's amazing that action of attention, directing it to the back leg, the back heel, puts us into that support. Creates that sensation through the calf. Full sole of the back foot working. Inhale the arms overhead. Same thing, reach them nice and long. Walk your gaze up the front wall to the ceiling, elbows bend. We've got that back bend here, the head dropping back, front of the throat opening. Feel as though you could draw your front heel towards your back heel as you take a breath in and you take a breath out. All right, one more big breath in, and then we'll exhale, release the hands, the arms, and pivot onto your back foot. Crescent lunge, arms sweep back overhead. Letting it settle. Anything that's bubbling to the top, the challenge, usually takes about 15 minutes or so. Depends on the day to really begin to let go. To feel like you're here, you've arrived. We always try to shorten that time. But if you're just starting to feel that, great. All right, left into your left hip, right arm reaching, or maybe wrapping around your waist, or the back of your right thigh. Inhale, crescent, opening. Exhale, stay. Maybe bending that top elbow, wrapping the elbow in and up. Another full breath in. Okay, exhale, straighten the legs, and let's open it up, warrior two. So give yourself time to set up the front heel to align middle of the back foot. Varies for some of us, but you'll set it up so that you can feel that deep bend through the front thigh, the back leg, back of the back thigh pressing back behind you. And you can lift and lengthen the arms. Full breath in, full breath out. Tractioning the pinkies back behind you. Shoulder blades come together, that space between the heart lifting behind the heart. A couple more breaths here. Even as that fire, the chaos swirls around us, we know we're okay. All right, flip your front palm. Come up and back, reverse your warrior. And then hands to the mat. You'll step it back. Oh no, we'll drop the back knee and we'll find lizard lunge. You'll walk the left foot up to the edge of your mat. This is where we're going to go deeper, but maybe deeper for you. This second lizard lunge is exactly where we were. There's just more time to breathe. You'll open the left hip. You'll gaze over your left shoulder. The left arm sweeps back, and that can be enough in bending the back knee. If you do catch your foot, make sure you're finding that action of pelvic floor lifting. So pelvic floor muscles lift the seat, but you still keep the left hip opening. Big breath in, big breath out. All right, one more full breath in, and then release it. Step it back to high plank, and we'll hold. We're going to take Vashisthasana on the other side. So now the right hand takes the weight, and the heels drop to the right. Left arm reaches. Whatever side you haven't taken, find your Vashisthasana. Press through the heels like you were rooting them into the floor. Maybe extend the top arm and gaze up. But if you gaze up, just draw the chin slightly towards the chest. Keep the back of the neck long. Full breath in. Full breath out. One more big breath in. And then hands to the mat. You'll flow through high to low. Emerging upward facing. And up and back. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. You'll stay in down dog if you need more fire. You'll find child's pose if you need to pull back slightly. Full inhale. And you'll know what you need based on the breath. For example, I need to rest right now because it's a complete adaptation, teaching and moving. Full breath in. Full breath out. Really nice work. Take another big breath in. Big breath out. Okay, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. We're going to sweep the right leg up and back. And then we're going to step it forward for pigeon pose. So you'll drop your chin to the earth. Left leg lengthens. And before you drop your chest, gaze back at your left heel, and just make sure it's pointing up towards the ceiling, not sickling off to the side. And then once you have that, with the heart, begin to walk your hands forward. Keep shining that light from the heart forward. And then eventually you'll drop forearms to a block or your mat. If you don't have a block at home, a stack of books, a piece of furniture, a pillow, something. A pillow is probably too soft, but something to bring the earth to you. There's I remember a teacher, physical therapist who taught the studio I was teaching at said there's always the victim and the culprit. So hopefully opening the hips allows other things to access more space, like our lower back, our hamstrings. So the victim, where we're feeling sensation, not always the culprit, not always where the challenge is or the obstacle. And that's that whole practice of yoga, is this idea of removing blockages, creating space for energy to flow. And in your pigeon, let yourself take one more big breath in. Notice where it moves through the body. Exhale. And then walk your hands back. So keep your front leg exactly where it is. We're going to sweep the back leg around so that the left foot comes across the right thigh. And this might be too much right away for most of us. And if it is, you'd straighten the bottom leg and get a little more space, because we're going to twist. And the idea is to stay nice and long through the spine. Keep that all that heart opening that we've been doing intact. Inhale the arms overhead. And then the left hand comes behind you to prop the spine up. The right arm comes across your left thigh. You've got to press down through your sit bones to lift and twist. Keep the shape of the pose. Just take your gaze across your right shoulder. Full breath in, full breath out. All right, take another big breath in. Let it go. Straighten both legs in front of you. Inhale, lift your heart. And then exhale, reach for your toes for a forward fold. So for some of us, a forward fold on our feet, which is Uttanasana, maybe that's too much. So you always have this Paschimottanasana as an option, the seated forward fold. And yes, it feels good to round the spine and get into the upper back, but there's so much work here of shining the heart forward, even if there's a bend in the knees, to accommodate that. To draw the pinky toes towards you. Take another full breath in and let it go. All right, come back up to seated. Bend the knees, place your feet on the earth, and you'll come down to your back for Setu Bandha bridge pose. So you're going to reach for your heels, and once you find them, point the knees towards the sky, gently hug the thighs towards each other and lift your hips up. And then the hands can come underneath you, and you'll get more space to press down through the upper back, back of the head. Move the head gently a little side to side so you can feel that connection. Then come back to center with the back of the head pressing the mat. If wheel is in your practice, you're welcome to take it. We've got 3 more breaths in this back bend. Fill it up. Let it go. All right, take one more big breath in, and then let the hips come down. You'll tick-tock or drop the knees to the right. So the left comes inside, the right knee opens. Let everything drop, the lower back, your shoulders. Full breath in. Full breath out. All right, come back to center. Drop everything over to the opposite side, the left. Same thing here. The back releases towards the mat. Shoulders heavy. All right, bring both knees to center, give them a squeeze. We'll rock up to seated, hands to the earth, downward facing dog. We're gonna come in to pigeon on the other side. So you'll sweep the left leg high, and then you'll step it forward, shin on the earth. Back leg lengthening. Let yourself have the time to set it up, checking with the back heel, pointing up towards the ceiling, and then as the hips drop back, because the hips pull back in pigeon, unlike lizard where they were gliding forward, you'll walk your hands forward, you'll drop your chest. Forehead can be on the mat or a block, and you've arrived. Full breath in, full breath out. Settling in for a couple of breaths. Notice you can pull that left hip gently back towards the right heel. And these poses never fixed. There's a difference between coming out of it because it's uncomfortable and the mind makes up some story, but there's a difference in, or value in, as you start to feel and you realize that there's a place the body wants to go, to repositioning, taking those micro movements. Take another full breath in, let it go. Walk your hands back up, heart lifting. Front leg stays where it is. Back leg sweeps around, so the right foot comes outside of your left thigh. And same thing here. If it created more space to lengthen the bottom leg, go ahead and do that. Sitting up nice and tall, arms lifting. Right hand now comes behind you to lift the spine, and then left arm comes across for your twist. If you're lengthening the bottom leg, really flex the foot. And in this twist, the last little bit, if it's accessible, you'll take your gaze across your left shoulder. Full breath in. Full breath out. All right, one more big breath in. And let's release. Bring both knees in. Let's come all the way down to our backs. We'll take one more Sattu Bandha. Set it up. Reach your hips to the sky. Bridge pose. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze the thighs together. Press the feet down. Take one more lifting breath in. And then let the hips drop. Just tick-tock your knees side to side. Release the lower back. And then we'll take one more back bend before we rest. We'll bring the knees in. Give them a squeeze. Actually, we'll take one more hip opener too. While we're on our backs, let's take our knees in for happy baby. Grab your big toes. Draw the knees towards your armpits. And you could rock a little side to side, over to your left, breathing, coming back through center, like sort of pancaking the lower back here, and then over to the right. Take another deep breath in. And then bring the knees and give them a squeeze. Rock back up to seated so we can find fish pose, our final back bend before we rest. So I don't know where my block went, so I'll skip it. But if you do have a block, you take it this way, the long way, across the shoulders, across the upper back. You could also take it vertically between the shoulder blades. But traditional fish pose, point the toes, lengthen the legs, take your hands under your seat, fingers pointing towards your toes. And then you drop one elbow back, and you drop the opposite elbow back. And then once you arrive, you draw the heart up towards the ceiling. Like a hand was right between your shoulder blades, lifting. Then the head drops back to open the throat. Take another full breath in. And then remove anything that's in the way. Come off the elbows. Bring your back down to the earth. You'll take a full body stretch. Flex the feet. Point the toes. Full inhale. And then exhale. Arms come by your sides to rest. Shavasana. We'll have about a 3 to 4 minute Shavasana in this class. Of course, you're welcome to stay longer if you'd like. But you'll just release to the mat until we are cued to come out of it to meet again, to finish our class together. Do a scan of your body from the toes all the way through the crown of the head. Full breath in. Full breath out. Just rest. Shavasana. Coming back, take a full breath in, feel the chest lift. And a breath out, the mat holding you again. Bring your knees and give them a squeeze. And then roll onto your right side, pausing here for a moment. The ancient yogis held the view that we actually have 3 bodies, physical, astral, and causal. From this perspective, yoga is the study of the subtle currents of energy that move through the layers or sheaths of those 3 bodies. The purpose of this practice, the work, is to offer a perspective that might allow us to benefit immensely from the process of yoga, to think more clearly, to breathe more efficiently, and move more efficiently. Remembering the starting point and definition of this practice is the integration of mind, breath, and body. Make your way to seated, pressing yourself up, sitting nice and tall, hands land, heart center. Let's finish our practice the way we began, and in gratitude for this space that we shared, this time. 1 Om, full breath in. Hands to forehead center. We lift our hearts in gratitude, and then we bow in gratitude. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. Email me or comment on the video if there's anything else you'd like to see, a particular type of class. Otherwise, keep practicing, and I hope to see you in the studio again soon. Thank you.